Maybe because I come across as fairly helpless. Maybe because people are aware I'm a disaster in the kitchen. Maybe people think I have issues. But I have to tell you, since COVID-19 started, I don't know that I've ever felt more how many people are watching out for me. I shared that with some of you near the beginning of COVID when it was still way back in Lent. But I can honestly say it's multiplied and multiplied again and again, and I see it more clearly than ever in the weeks and months that have passed. They are checking in on me to make sure I'm okay. They worry about me. They cook meals for me. They've gone shopping for me. They've stopped by for a visit outside. I've been given so many books and articles to read and videos to watch. They wanted to make sure I was okay. They even supported me during my mini sabbatical this summer. While I was still going to meetings and doing appointments, I had a huge break from preaching and the 7 hours of a week that it takes me to write homilies. That was a tremendous gift to me that I had never had in 44 years. Father Tom, Father Bob, Patrick, they all covered for me in those weeks. They are extraordinary men who gave me an extraordinary opportunity. And they gave a great gift to this community because you could tell in their preaching and the way they prayed here that they really cared about us. I appreciate how they watched out for you. It all had a huge impact on me, frankly. I really felt cared for, helped, encouraged, people watching out for me. And to all of them, I say thank you so much. And yet I think it's also true to say that sometimes people go a little too far with that. Like care turns to overprotective sometimes, not all that often really. I think a lot of students, young folks who were stuck at home with their parents these weeks turned into months could probably echo some of that with me. So just this past week, I had dinner with some people I love very, very much, and I was walking home maybe about 11. Outside we had the dinner. I was walking home about 11, and lo and behold, as soon as I got home, there was a phone call, a text saying, "Did you get home okay? Make sure you call us, Father Gary, when you get home." I'm almost 70. Granted, it's St. Louis, but I do think it's a lot of parents and parishioners actually can get a little overprotective. We've talked about helicopter parents, we've talked about snowplow parents. I think there's also snowplow and helicopter parishioners who are always watching out for us. But it's true for all of us, I think, that sometimes our care, our watching out for each other, can flip into overprotection. It just seems to be true, and so it's something to be aware of at least. But being watched out for has been happening to me over my whole life. Not just COVID days, but my whole life, really. So many people, starting with obviously my parents, all the way through. I just feel so lucky to have had so many people watching out for me along the way. I ask you to think about for a second, if you would, do you have any signs in your families, in your friendships, in your communities of faith, even at work, your neighborhood, of people watching out for you? The prophet Ezekiel tells us that he was appointed watchman for Israel. The watchman of Israel. It was his job to watch out for people. And for him, that meant he was there. He was there to protect them from danger. He was there to care for them in their need. He was there to help them toward whatever they needed to be happy and healthy and free. It was even his job to challenge them if they were going astray, if they were hurting themselves, even unknown to themselves. People who watch out for others have a keen sense that they are responsible. In one way or another, they are responsible for others' well-being, but not too responsible. We all need people like that, don't we? People who will watch out for us, check in on us, and yes, even challenge us. You parents who are here today, who are dropping off your young women and men for the first time ever, perhaps, for college or even just another year here. I can't imagine you would want anything more for your daughters and sons as you drop them off here, leaving home again perhaps for the first time, than knowing that your kids will have somebody watching out for them while you are so far away. Making sure they don't fall through the cracks, anticipating their needs, listening to the sometimes broken hearts, celebrating their accomplishments, and just even challenging them if they're making choices that could hurt them in the long run or even the short run. To take responsibility for them when you are so far away that somebody somewhere would care enough about them to take some responsibility for them and their well-being, especially now that you have gotten them so far in their lives. Here at WashU, I have to say, I see the way our resident assistants, RAs, take care of your sons and daughters. I see the way student health services take care of them. I see the administrators, the faculty, taking them in. And I see the university police. A couple of us on the staff had great conversations with university police on campus just yesterday, or Friday rather. They really want to protect your kids. Several years ago now, parents, please know. I want you to know something I think is really important. I want you to know that the CSC is there for your kids to do just that. We are here to watch out for them. We will be there for them and to comfort them, and we will be there for them to challenge them. We will love them as they are. No hoops do they have to ever jump through for us. They don't have to get it right all the time, ever, to be welcome here or welcome into our hearts. And we will not be afraid to call them to be greater than even they are. We will do our best to help them to be happy and healthy and free. A brief example of that. Several years ago now, a student's brother died in a tragic car accident. The parents were going to be calling to tell their daughter that her brother was dead. Before they called her, her parents called us and asked us to be there for her when they told her. That night, a couple of our campus ministers went up to her dorm and sat on the floor outside her door in the hallway and waited there until they heard the phone ring. I don't think we will ever forget the sound of that phone ringing on the other side of the door, knowing what she was about to hear. When her parents could not be, we were there for her. Her parents were watching out for her. So were we. I know this can be easy for me to say, but after doing this now into my 30th year, I can say this to you with confidence. If I were a parent, and if I were dropping my freshmen off here at the university or any university in the country, I would so want there to be a Catholic Student Center community that would be there for them if they wanted it, if they were open to it, and when, not if, but when they needed it. It is an honor to love students in the name of their parents. We don't do it perfectly, but I can say we do our best. And I have seen again and again in all the campus ministers here how much we love your kids and how hard we work to love them well. It is a joy to love them. And it is a joy to make a home for them in your name, in the name of their parents, especially in these COVID kinds of days when things seem so upside down while they are away from home. Sooner or later, sometimes in surprising ways, each of us is appointed to watch out for each other. That's an appointment from God, a summons. Each of us, somewhere along the way, sometimes surprising ways, we are summoned, appointed to watch out for each other. We hear it in pending snowstorms or when the temperatures are bitter cold or on the hottest of summer days. Watch out for each other. Check on your neighbors, the forecasters tell us. Watch out for each other. Check on your neighbors. That's such a gospel thing for that weather person to say. Watch out for each other. Check on your neighbors. I see people do that all the time. On a macro level, I can't believe how mean and bullying and violent so many have gotten, it seems recently. But right here, right in front of our eyes, towards me and I hope in me towards others, I just see people, again and again, I just see people watching out for each other. It's a beautiful thing to behold. That as bad as it seems the world has gotten, I still see people taking care of each other and trying their best to do that in healthy and life-giving ways. You who are parents here this morning and grandparents, you who are watching from home right now, surrounded by your children and grandchildren, and whatever neighbors you brought together to watch with you. You will always be watching out for your kids, that's for sure. Even the kids you said goodbye to and dropped off at some university around the country. You'll still always be watching out for them, that's for sure. But when you get back home and things are a little quieter than they have been, I hope you look around. I hope you look around and find neighbors and friends and fellow parishioners and co-workers you can watch out for now. And maybe even take note of those who are watching out for you.